Hello, I am Bo Ray, and today I'm going to review a game. It's going to be a short review, but I'm going to review a game that I think can honestly be described as the most realistic racing game on the planet. I've played it, I love it, but it's so real. So many things in this game emulate how driving cars in real life will work. And today I'm going to share this game with you for anybody who's really into realism and likes driving games and racing games. So, before I show off exactly what's going to happen here, um, I'd like everybody to pay attention to my words. When I say this game is realistic, I mean it in this way. Everything that would happen to you if you were to do anything that you did in this game, if you were to do it in real life, you get the same result that you get in the game. You would feel the same. It's almost like virtual reality, but it's not. I'm not using an Oculus Rift or a virtual reality thing. I'm just looking at a screen. So, for those of you who have been looking tirelessly for a game that isn't just racing, but is realistic, unlike the Mario Karts of our current society, I have the game for you, and I am proud to present Trackmania Canyon. Now, as you can see here, we have a as real as it gets, presentation of how driving works. Acceleration, steering, braking, all functional. And the best part, which you'll see in a moment, is just like in real life, you don't die when you fall from a height like that. Allow me to replay that so I can show you the true divine essence of that sight you just saw and how it defines racing games as a whole. So, here you can see that while driving a car, just like in real life, if you reach a height of over, say, 1,000 meters, that's a guess, but it was going at over 1,000 miles per hour. When you land, just like you would expect in real life, you can get up and keep driving. And that is the reason that I love Trackmania. Trackmania Canyon, to be specific, but there are more Trackmania games. The sheer realism. For those of you racing fans, like me, I've been a die-hard racing fan for as long as I can remember. For those of you who have wanted to take a reprieve one day, break out the console, and start driving, but only found yourself looking at Mario Kart 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and were appalled at the sheer fakeness of it all. I have a game for you. One in which, where you crash, just like in real life, falling from basically airplane height doesn't do anything to you. Furthermore, even if you aren't into driving games or racing games, I recommend this for driver's ed classes. I have actually already talked to my school board down here in Virginia. I've talked to my school board about the driver's ed classes and using this as a simulation, this game. Specifically this level, which I've designed. Not that I want to take credit for the magic that this game is, but I feel like to emulate realism of how driving works on the road, just seeing this. New drivers may not understand that when you go flying like this, the best thing to do is to shake it off, to quote a popular song. As you can see here, the driver of this car shook off that impact without an injury. and is now driving peacefully along a canyon. Now, furthermore, I would like to direct you to a more elaborate track that I've made, and I am going to give you the privilege of showing you the true realism of a much more complicated track. Now, this took me hours to finish, and I'm actually very proud of it. And the best part is the sheer amount of realism present in this. You can see, as soon as I start playing, that this is exactly what would happen in real life. If I were in this canyon, if I were in this region here, driving this car you see, this is what would happen to me. So I'll display the ingenuity, the sheer genius of the programming of this game and its realism factors. A hit like that would never hit a real driver. Neither would that. Of course, like a real driving game, there are no stoplights. And even when I make a mistake like that was a really bad mistake, I can simply get up and keep moving. It's not like there's police or traffic laws or injuries in the real world. So that's why I think this game is the perfect emulation of realism. As you can see here, I'm driving through a tunnel that's freaking crooked. I'm just going to skip over that checkpoint, but not really. Because if I skip over a checkpoint, I will not be able to complete the race. Just like in real life, if you skip over a checkpoint, you will be fined. There are consequences. You see what I'm talking about with realism? It makes a connection, and that's what's beautiful about this game. As you can see here, a jump like that and the impact of the wheels hitting the ground at such a speed and with such a heavyweight object. Nothing. Just like in real life. As you can see, realism is a present factor in this game. In fact, so much so that I can go at over 300 miles per hour and still be fine. Not get whiplash or anything. In fact, as you saw before, I can go over 1,000 miles per hour and be perfectly fine. And that is the beauty of this game. No matter what, you can keep driving. I think... Let me just finish this real quick. I think something of this caliber shows... And pay attention to my words here, because I'm speaking from the heart. I think something of this caliber shows... something on an artistic level. Hear me out. Artistic, I know it doesn't seem connected to racing. But hear me out. As you saw at the end of that track, I hit a wall at such a speed where one might expect, if they were inept, that is, that I would go flying out of my vehicle. But the sheer determination, the sheer passion for racing, the sheer love for the sound that the vehicle makes when you press down on the pedals, the pull and resistance of the steering wheel as you make your turns, the cushions of the seats, that passion, that undying love for motorsport gives not only the driver in this spectacular game, but you as a driver, as somebody who commutes in the real world, determination not to let things like driving on walls, jumping at ridiculous heights, falling in the pits, you don't let any of that stop you. And that is something that I think our society needs more of. Take me seriously here now, because I've been actually thinking about this a lot. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep my composure here. This is difficult to talk about because 5 years ago, I was on the street, I was walking, and somebody in a car crashed, and they flew through their windshield, and I was so mad at them for not having the determination, for failing their vehicle by crashing. Even though I learned later, due to lots of internet research, that the driver's accelerator had jammed and that there was no stopping, there was nothing they could do. they had still disrespected their vehicle by not saying, okay, accelerator, I will open the door of the car and stop this thing with my shoes. By not doing something as simple, but as passionate, as magnificent as that. They disrespected the sport. And this game will teach youths and adults alike the amazement and trust of motorsport. So I can recommend Trackmania Canyon as well as its other games. I played Trackmania Stadium too, and it has a similar educational factor. Um, in fact, I think that when I upload this to YouTube, I will go as I should and label the video as educational because it's taught me something. It taught me a life lesson, and hopefully, it's taught you one too. I'm sorry if my voice is choking up. I get emotional. It's just God. It's just this is so beautiful. It's like a Picasso painting. Only I'm sorry. If only that driver from 5 years ago had the just the. If only there was a game like this for them. That car doesn't belong in a junkyard. I'm sorry. If you want a real driving experience, one that can teach you something about life, Trackmania Canyon is the game for you. It's the game for all of us. All of you. This is the new NASCAR, and I cannot put enough faith in this game. It's like me talking isn't really expressing how much of a masterpiece. You heard the roar of the engine. I don't think I need to say much else. I'm sorry. I've had a rough day. I saw on the news that a truck had crashed and T-boned a car, and I just thought that car wouldn't have been dented if that driver was stronger and had just held the thing in place. I said the thing. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I meant the car's soul. That thing had a soul. That sweet child. It was so young, straight from the dealership. So for all of you who not maybe if you want a realistic racing game, go here. But if you also want something even more powerful than driver's education, something that can teach you what it means to hear the roar of the engine, and the strength and passion it takes to drive a car. I can't do this anymore. Just go buy Trackmania Canyon. Go find a game. I'm so sorry. Why is this in school? I can't look at it anymore. It's scarring my eyes with its beauty. I'm gonna stop recording. I need a break.